Hi, I'm Freya Jackson. I'm a PhD student from Murdoch University, and my project is focusing on expanding what we currently know about native stingless bees in Western Australia, with a strong focus on their distribution and physiology. For this presentation, I'll discuss the importance of native bees and why my research is important. When I first discuss my research and the importance of bees as pollinators, people initially assume I'm talking about the European honeybee, Apis mellifera, and while the honeybee is the world's most important pollinator of food crops and is the most widely distributed managed bee species for crop pollination, they are not native to Australia, and many would even argue that they are invasive. There are over 2,000 species of native bees thought to be present in Australia, and there's even evidence that honeybees are competing with them, at times resulting in a decrease in native bee abundance and diversity. The number of managed honeybee hives have continued to increase every year, and we are still incredibly dependent on honeybees to pollinate certain crop species. So this has led to a surge in research trying to find alternative pollinators. I believe that stingless bees are the leading alternative pollinator candidates in Australia. There are currently 11 stingless bee species described here, which are mostly found in the warm tropical regions. So why do these bees make good alternative pollinator candidates? While they live in colonies and nests and have a social structure very similar to the honeybees, these colonies can be easily translocated and managed in artificial hives. And unlike honeybees, they are stingless, so they don't pose any safety risk to greenhouse workers. There are also certain species that are resistant to pests and parasites that plague honeybees that we know of. There are currently 2 known species present in Western Australia, Ostropalebia essingtoni and Tetragonula mellipes. I actually made a trip up to Broome in June this year to observe these species, and I decided to focus my attention on Tetragonula mellipes, since they form a larger and more robust colony. There's also hardly any information on this species compared to Ostropalebia essingtoni that has been somewhat studied. Examinations of the species that I collected while I was up in Broome actually revealed a distinct morphological difference compared to the taxonomic description of Tetragonula mellipes. And I'm currently using DNA barcoding to shed light on either a new species or the extent of intraspecific variation within the species. This has implications for translocations between regions, adaptations to different environments, morphology versus gene, etc. Firstly, my project aims to study the spatial distribution of all 11 species of stingless bees under present and future climate scenarios. And secondly, I'll investigate colony dynamics, foraging and flight behavior of my stingless bees in the field up in Broome. Thirdly, I'll test the regulatory response of the species to southwest Western Australia climate in the glasshouse. So I'll be bringing back some colonies down to my glasshouses in Murdoch to observe their colony dynamics and how they work and how they regulate in the temperature down here. And then lastly, I'll test the effectiveness on the species to act as a glasshouse pollinator on strawberry. So why am I doing this research? Well, there's an urgency to find additional or alternative species as managed crop pollinators, and I hope that my research will improve our current understanding of stingless bees in Western Australia and whether stingless bees can be used as crop pollinators outside the native distributional range. I just want to thank my supervisors in my university for all the support that they've given me, and also the collaboration with the Purnululu National World Heritage Committee. I guess my presentation is a little shorter than everyone else because I haven't really conducted any fieldwork, but that summarizes my project.